coming. Thanks, Bill is online. Morning, everyone.
We're good.
Okay, thank everybody for coming. Bill is online from Alberta. Started meeting here at 9:01.
Can you hear me now? Just testing my mic.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. I'm wearing my sunglasses today because I have scratched my eye. So I might not be sharing my screen, my video very much because, yeah, I can't drive, which is why I'm not with you here today. But I thought I would join you online. Okay, thanks.
All right. Hopefully that'll heal up pretty quick for you.
Gillis, can you say something? We're trying to get rid of an echo.
Okay. You want me to say something because you're testing?
Thank you.
All right. Adoption of the agenda. Anybody have any additions to the agenda?
I have a couple additions to the brushing program, but I'll add it on when we're discussing.
Is that to add roads?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we're all gonna have to hand a map in on the wish list, I guess. Okay,
That's the only edit. I have no addition.
David, any, no, okay, any additions from staff? Okay,
Well, sorry, Bonnie did send out this is just a news release from the ministry. It's from the premier and the different ministries.
we'll do the correspondence over there. We'll add that correspondence. All right, can we get adoption of the agenda, please?
The Lamont County Agricultural Service Board adopted October 8, 2025 Agricultural Service Board agenda as presented.
Everybody's it's matching the thing. Okay, all in favor to Roy's? Okay, thank you. Adoption of the previous minutes. You guys find any errors on the minutes? Okay,
I'll move that the Lamont County Agricultural Service Board adopt the August 13th, 2025 Agricultural Service Board minutes as presented.
okay, thanks, Dave. All in favor? Carried. Follow-up action plan, 4.1, on page 10.
Okay, so starting with April 9th, AFC meeting, where the motion was regards to the Hall of Fame. That's still ongoing. As soon as we get the correspondence from GOA, we will proceed with that. There was nothing that came out of the June 11th meeting, or sorry, the spray truck. We are in the process of we took pictures. We're building an advertisement board. Ben and I've been in touch with a couple of our colleagues and some of our industry partners, and they want to have those pictures sooner than later. They have a lot of interprovincial contact, but also nationally. So guess there's going to be quite a bit of interest for that. So that's good for us. The Mon County Livestock Mercy Plan, that all depends on council when they approve the budget. There is 25,000 plus contingency in there to see if that's going to go ahead. The policy on the beaver flood control, that's in the agenda today. The roadside brushing as well, that map's in there. And the last one is the sunline drainage mowing, and once we finish the second and third pass, we'll go and do that first mile for sure.
Any questions for Terry? Do we get a motion to approve?
Yeah, I'll make motion Lamont County accept the ag serve. Or, yeah.
Ag Service Board accept the following action plan as information.
Okay, thanks, all in favor? Carried. 4.2, policy 6070.22, keep down flood control, page 11 to 18.
So as I mentioned, this policy did come up at the, at August 13th meeting. The policy did state that, we were to, cost recovery. The board felt that, we continue doing what we're doing and then not to charge the rate here. So, remove section 8 and 9. The policy that you see on page 13 and 14, with the appendix on page 15 will be the new policy. And if you look on page 16 and 17, the areas that highlighted, that's what we remove.
Section 8 and 9 is on page 16 of the agenda. Right, if you wanna, highlight it. Any questions or comments? Okay, no questions or comments, can we get a motion on 4.2, please?
I move that Lamont County Agricultural Service Board recommend to the Lamont County Council to approve the amendments to policy 607022, beaver dam flood control as presented.
Okay, thanks, Roy, all in favor? Carried. 4.3, 2025-2026 roadside and corner brushing map, page 19, 21.
Okay, so as you see in the agenda, or in the agenda package, there is a two map. We have two. So as you see, they're power coded. So any of the red dots, those are our priority corners, corners that have been brought forward, and we want to address those. The areas that are in the green and the blue are the areas that in the early part of 2025, the board approved, and those are the ones that are complete. We are asking for the priorities, so any of the areas that are in red, are the ones that, we're going to get direction on for this fall and spring of 2026. But it sounds like, the board also has some additional locations, so, there'll be no way, unless we have a really dry winter, the drills, we won't be able to do all that.
So if you got any corners or roads or anything, you're gonna get them in as soon as you can. And they'll prioritize them, I guess, right?
So 560 and 162 the corner. What is that red dot on 160 and 560?
That's the intersection. That's what brought forward by the grader operator, that, there's a visibility concern there.
564 and Rainbow 200, that one's, how do you get that?
You're talking about the one on 160, right?
Well, that's where the dot is, but I brought up 162 to add to the list, the corner.
Okay.
Or is that going to happen with the brushing as it?
That could be an error. We can take a look at that, and then it could have been an error when.
Yeah, because 160, I can't.
I think 162, if you look, the whole corners could be brushed, the whole road.
Well, and I'm just wondering, you just doing a ditch or you get a corner.
Oh, okay.
See, but you just verify that?
Okay.
Yeah, do we get 564 and Range Road 200? It's just one out of four. Of course, you got 200 and 564.
A corner?
Yeah, the northwest corner has got blocking visibility to the north when you're going east.
And the addition I had was, 70 and 171. So, 530. From 190, it's about 194 to 191 or 192, sorry. There's some pretty good overhangs there. I got a couple of calls about it.
Okay.
Either 550 for that one off. Yeah, so 560. Oh, no, that's it. Less than that, one all there, 720 bucks. 62, okay. Anything else, maybe we'll just hand the map in and then get an idea of what they gotta do. That gonna work for you guys?
Still getting comment from the 191 corner, you guys did a great job on there, and then, Public Works put in some yield signs there.
Did they?
Yeah, they're putting in or put it there. Put in,
Very marked, mine should be 165 and 170. Well, south of 29 up to 550.
Any more, if there's anything, just send the map in. And let them go over it, I guess, right? Okay, can we get a motion for 4.3, please?
I move that the Lamont County Agricultural Service Board accept the 2025-2026 roadside and farm brushing map as presented.
Thanks, any all in favor? Okay. Carried, new business 5.1, our land training and support. Formerly the Farm Safety Center donation, page 22 to 25.
Yeah.
5.
So on page 24 and page 25, there is a letter, to the board that, as, Mr. Chairman has mentioned, Heartline Training and Support, they are the new organization that took over from the Farm Safety Center. Historically, we've given them money to train our staff, or not our staff, our children in the schools, about farm safety. I know we didn't do anything last year for the simple reason that, it's a transition, but also, there was training, there was funding that took place elsewhere. So long story short, the last time we gave a donation was in 2023 for $1,648.50, based on the per capita and the kids that are in Bruderheim and Lamont, and with their school, they're looking for just a little over 2,000. So they're looking for a donation of $2,002.50, but they would be prepared to take any amount.
Do the students at Andrew,
Wow.
include?
And you, And that's one of the things that once I get approval, I was gonna follow up to see with Andrew being in charge of school, if they're still going to attend. I'm assuming the answer is yes, but I just want to confirm.
Any questions on that? I think it's a good thing, I was at Farm Credit this week, had an appointment, and they said that they're really surprised how many young farmers are stepping forward and trying to get in, taking them to parents. They said it's the most they've seen ever, so it's good sign. I mean, we'll get average age down to 78. All right, we get any more questions or anything on it? We can get a motion for 5.1, please.
Make the motion that the Lamont County Ag Service Board approve the donation of $2,002.50 to the Heartland Training and Support, formerly known as the Farm Safety Center.
All right, thanks. All in favor? Okay, carried. Number 6, correspondence. We'll leave that all with Terry to
Okay,
speak through it.
so Mr. Chair, do you want me to go through each of these correspondence or just highlight them? Okay, so the first one is there's a letter on page 26 from Coeur Hills County. In August, they declared a agricultural disaster. Westmont County on page 27 and 28 did the same. MD of Peace declaration as well. Northern Sunrise, same thing, Burkeville County. Then on page 35 and 36, Lac Saint Anne County has requested the federal government to include them as a municipality under the livestock deferral program. Then on page 37 and 38, County of Minburn sent a letter to the federal government. And to PMRA to ask for a new gopher control program with 2% strychnine being taken off a couple of years ago now. They're finding that there's a higher than abundance of gophers now in their areas. And the products that are readily available through your agri retailers are not working. As well, County of Minburn also sent a letter to the ministry, asking them to waive the on-farm slaughter sale. There's a lot of producers that are utilizing the sales off the farm, and they don't like the idea that to fight us animals per year off property. So they're looking for procedure action on that. Then on page 41 to 43, our weed inspector that's no longer with us. She was assigned the area to the south. There's her report. Is there anything you want to add to that? No. And then from page 44 to 122, maybe we should at least touch on some of the report card. So due to some of the issues that took place last year at the provincial conference, there's some changes that are going to come forward. When you're doing a resolution, the municipality that's sponsoring that needs to speak on it, because there's a lot of uncertainty last year on when they're being brought forward, and there was not further direction on exactly what the motion said, stating. So there is some changes that they're asking for. They also gave a copy of the rules of procedure. They also talked about the relevant rules. Some of that also is for the benefit of new service boards. With it being an election year, there's usually every 4 years a higher turn of members at large and service board. So it's through GOA. There's going to be some training as well. Then on page. On page 57, there is the report card from ASBCC, and it starts with their chair, Brenda Knight from Lamont County. The resolution that talked about, last year, the jobs in the livestock facility, when they sent it into, the respective departments, the ASBPC did have a response, but they were only in part. Also the resolution on the landowner rights for renewable energy project, that resolution we never did pass, so that was defeated. The municipality that brought forward protection of class 3 soils in Alberta from development, that resolution was withdrawn. The weed control in the drainage canals, it was responded, but not to their approval. The central contact for the weed control ag and pest act as well, that was responded. And then the rural veterinary student support, ASPPC felt that they responded, but not fully. And then the roadkill carcass proposal for transportation. They Alberta Transportation responded, but they didn't respond according to their license. Coyote eligibility for compensation, that was defeated. The non-matching funding for Agno, they responded and waiting for direction from the province. The Farm Family Awards, that was defeated. But as the correspondence later in, you're gonna realize that now, the Association of Alberta Agriculture Societies has taken that under their umbrella. So they're gonna be the ones that are gonna be taking over what, the board used to know as the Lamont Farm Family. The agriculture education funding, that goes hand in hand with what the board just approved. So that got responded. The charitable gain policy, that was approved, but there's still no response back from the ADOC. And then the lobbying inclusion, that's defeated. And then the inflationary increase for ASB grants, that's still in the hands of ASBPC to see if that can be incorporated as well. And then if you go on page 64 on, it'll show how many municipalities have responded to the survey compared to the ones in our region in 24 and 23 and 22. In the Northeast, there's 4 ASBs and one of them was us. So I took the liberty on behalf of the service board to conduct that survey.
Any questions for Terry? On our report card?
Three is, yeah, on page 123, that's where I mentioned about the press release. That the Association of Ag Societies is going to be taking that over. And then the on page 126 on is the moisture map. Nothing that really should be surprising to you. With it being as dry as it is, our area has had less than a millimeter of rain, so. Definitely good, and then also, there is our regional conference on November 1st at Social Center in Vancouver. Lindbergh County's putting it on. We haven't heard a response, so what we did is we didn't put any names to them, but we spoke by board members and, treated at an position, so.
Or the province recognized that weather station that was put in on 535 and.
The county doesn't like putting that, but AFSC does along with, Environment Canada.
Okay.
So when you're signing up for your, clean moisture levels, you can either pick the one, they call it kind of work. And then I'm not sure what they're calling the one that, I keep on calling it the Marvin Bowrix. That, and then there's a weather station by there, and then there's one by Andrews. I'm not sure exactly where, but somewhere in the vicinity of Topfield. It's got a weather vane, and then it has the asphalt for collecting precipitation.
It collected when they got that big downpour.
Hmm.
It collected when there was that big 3-inch downpour, eh? Upset all the figures.
That one, it did hit it dead on, yeah. It brought the rates up pretty fast. Hey, any more questions on the correspondence?
So are we gonna consider the Farm Family Award again?
So as soon as we get the package coming out, this is just a press release saying that Association of Exercises is taking it on. In the back of your mind, do consider, having a recipient. From my point of view, in my years of being here, that is definitely good recognition for our next generation. And, as Mr. Chairman was mentioning, he's finding that Williams on credit, there's more and more young people here. So it's a good sign that maybe more young people are forward. So.
Some correspondence? All right, we have a motion for that, please.
Release that on the second. I believe Mr. Ternowski has also given this to electronically. Premier Daniel Smith has made some very strong actions to our ministries. And this is just stating that what her expectations are. So from the ag side, it's good. Definitely, they want to make sure that agriculture comes first, and then if there's any development or any biodiversity that's being planned, that needs to definitely take a priority. She's also asking her ministry to make sure that the generations that are moving forward are sustainable and find ways of keeping your input costs such as fertilizer and land prices to a manageable level. Plus, asking to get cut back on the red reproduction. Probably a good thing to read over for other things we got.
Any questions on the last correspondence? Or correspondence presented on? Okay, can we get a please on
For the correspondence,
We'll make a motion that the Lamont County Agri Service Board accept all correspondence as information.
Dave, thanks. Thanks, Aaron. All in favor? Okay. Eight. Yeah, no, my demo. Okay, number 7, agricultural fieldman, assistant agricultural fieldman in Alberta Agriculture Liaison reports. We'll start at 7.1 on page 137.
Okay, so my report is, just from the last meeting from August 15th to September 26th. Our roadside grass mowing program, is facing a lot of difficulties this year. Many challenges, and that's mainly due to the one tractor for sure, with the possibility of a second one. The 2 Kubotas are constantly down this year, and it's everything from electrical issues to hydraulic issues, and it's just a lot of downtime. The one that also is aware that is scheduled, that one we have operational, that one's been good up to now. The other one that's a bit older, it's gonna be scheduled for replacement in 27. We're very fortunate that we have extended field. If we would have to pay for that, there's a $26,000 work order, right? It's still going on it. That unit was constantly down, and I reached out to Kubota. They were finally able to get us a loader. They took our tractor, they brought us a loader. They took it to the city. I laugh about because they don't have mercury. They can quarter part, they change wiring harnesses, change the sensors. It was good for 40 hours, and then I promised again. And every day that goes by, when I get the operator that calls me, I just cringe on, is it going down? So, we're coming close. We're probably about a week away from finishing our grass mowing program. And then, just letting the board know that, council may have another decision to make, when we go on to budget deliberations, because one is on the books, there might be 2 on the books, depending on what council wants to do. There's also been an increase in unauthorized drop cutting on the municipal right of ways. As all of you are aware that people are backboarding and stealing any capacity that they can, just to keep their animals alive, and they're trying to find feed. So we've also been promoting some of the alternative crops. There's more straw that's being baled this year. Bluegrass has been cut and baled. If there's crops that are being written off by insurance, we're recommending that instead of them just putting it under, talk to some of your producers, and maybe they can do a 4-minute silage or 4-minute green feed. Just a couple sectors of agriculture taken care of. Also, we've had quite a few inquiries, declaring that why the Lamont County not been disaster. I have been in discussion with your chair. We felt that there's still not enough reason behind it, and the onus then goes back on producers to have your own security network. I know the province, I see it is not all ad hoc programs. Their programs that they have are definitely very good programs. And it's up to the producers to have their own risk stability programs in place. We're also getting more involved and we've been promoting the water company program. There's many producers that have been hauling water for the last month or two. That water pump is blowing up stock right now, and everything from the south to the north. We've also identified some roads and corners for 25-26 program. That's thank you to the board for giving us more, and I think I'm an approach on this. You guys know your divisions, if there are any roads that need to be done, you give that to us as well. I also mentioned that we're also promoting alternative feed sources, and that's been going quite well. Amanda and I have been busy, and we are going to be even more busier as the year goes along. It is our turn, our region, the Northeast region, to host our in-service training for the Association of Ag Fuelmen. That's going to be in December, but also the Northeast is a prevention conference. Third week. The third week in January 6th, and it's going to be at the facility itself as well. So we're most are active on committee, so you're going to see us be addressing that point next week now. When we're also
Those Kubota tractors, so one is due for replacement.
yeah, one is scheduled, and it's the in 21 that's first is a year after that. One, and that is what he's getting on education. Very starting that it's only got 1,400 some hours on it. It is very frustrating to have a program. Ultimately, what I like to do is I like to represent the organization in with a professional manner. We have our equipment that's being broken down on the side of the road. I think I started taking it personally because I want our customers to be what we used to be, right? And it's hard to do it if we don't have the proper equipment to do it.
Those two tractors don't seem to be able to be 2 days in a row without being broken down.
So,
Just
How many tractors do we have total? 3?
sorry, we have 3 tractors. We have 2 Kubotas, and then we council just approved the New Holland 2 years ago. And that New Holland is utilized by Public Works in the winter time for pushing driveways. And then in the summertime, it's the one that runs some more with the applicator. This year he was in the Western County area.
So, again, because I think he deserves a little more in-depth discussion. So the fact that a loaner was provided only recently shouldn't give us a false sense, because all summer long there have been, we've been out of service. We've been down to one of the 2 Kubotas. Now, oddly, the new one is the one's constantly down. Then given the after sale service that we received, if we're replacing, we're not sure we want to replace it with the same
Right.
manufacturer. So Terry was successful in getting them to give us a quote if we were to trade it and replace it, but I don't know if that's the solution.
Yeah, I'm not sure if council will be in favor of getting rid of one or getting another one, like, I personally have a very bitter taste in my mouth right now, right? Uh, Historically, we've had good luck with the other two manufacturers that we've had, so, in reality, it's the blue and the red, which is the New Holland and the case, they pretty much are the same tractor. And one's blue and one's red. And then when we first cut our teeth in the grass mowing program, we started with the John Deeres and the John Deeres were fantastic for the simple reason. We had, at that time, we had 6 mechanics that lived in our municipality. And they had the same level of service as Public Works has from Finning and Brent, where either at the end of the day, the service tech would stop at our shop, service it, or 7 o'clock in the morning, they would stop and service it. That's big. That's big. If you have minimal downtime, you guys are all producers. Can you imagine going 2 weeks without having access to a tractor to either cut hay or run a grain auger for harvest? If we're private sector, we would go broke.
We're lucky we had an extended warranty that Bill sold 26 grand already on the one tractor, so.
So what, just roughly, anyone recall what the price difference was? When we were purchasing
It was about $35,000 difference.
what would resale be on?
So as Mr. Chanowski just said, it compares apples to apples based on $1,400 or 1,400 hours on that tractor. And if we replace it with the identical tractor, we would have a $99,000 to boot.
Just change the color of the tractor, that's all.
So are these issues electrical or mechanical or both?
We're having hydraulic issues that, they put brand new couplers on, 6 brand new couplers. And we're getting about 80 hours and they're steeping really bad. The one tractor, the PTO seal is now gone 4 different seals. So I'm not sure if the purpose that we're utilizing it for is too extensive for it. But we're finding out that it's not meeting our needs and nothing but electrical issues. They initially accused us of battery because for one reason or another, the batteries that were in it failed. So we ended up getting some local batteries. They said there wasn't enough current going through in order to keep the units, the initial cost or initial run. We need 1,400 cranking amps and we have 1,000 cranking amp batteries in there. So we appeased them and we took off the batteries, we put 1,400 cranking amp. Then we took out some electrical issues. There's a lot of the same depth issues and emission issues as Public Works had a couple of years ago with one of their, I don't know if it's a gravel truck or a sanding truck, but it just one after another and it just, you fix this and then there's something else that's going on, right?
There's a new gravel truck that Kenworth, I think.
What's that?
That new Kenworth gravel truck we got was for going back to the city.
I almost wonder if we just cut our losses and next council meeting or when we do budget, replace them. And like you said, we have local support. We're buying local. Instead of them coming all the way up from the city or where they gotta come to try to get us in, and it doesn't seem like they're really that accommodating.
And that'll be the solution in the RFP that we construct, we're gonna put a heavy emphasis on post-sale service.
The discussion with Peter, we felt that it's warranted for the board to be aware prior to go to the next council meeting and then next budget deliberation, so that gives you guys some idea to think about and, so you're not going to, right?
So did you do a quote for creating this one in the new?
Well, initially, for the last council meeting that took place, I asked for, prior to it, budget council meeting was on Tuesday, they gave us a phone call on a Thursday. And after discussion with Mr. Janowski, we worked on a special council meeting for that. We tried to work it through and,
I think the question was on straight.
Essentially is where I was going.
99,000 difference. That's the same question that, member not could just ask.
So that's Kubota to.
Compare Kubota to Kubota. I wasn't doing any analysis moving forward until we got closer to the budget deliberations, right?
So the grass mowing program complete.
Yeah, the last section is there's about 20 miles, 25 miles in the Chipman area. And then, there's some stuff north of Oscaro Road, should be done today first thing tomorrow morning. And then, the other operator that was in the Andrew Westick area, he's been hammering out the third pass where some of our collector roads, instead of doing a 15-foot cut, we're doing a 30-foot cut. I know that's kind of away from our policy, but at the same time, that's really like when for transportation that full on their highways, when the snow does come, it rolls right across the first couple of years and keeps the track moving. When you see the time, there's a lot of money moving that you can see it a lot easier.
So, did you get all the February's going? That's, okay, they did too, but third one, just to get our whole right away.
Okay.
It's got little shrubs and that's gonna stop them, so he uses that water treatment until those come into the meeting. These are at the corner there, with four, for the driving there. Any more questions on, the other tractors?
These tractors will be parked for the winter pretty soon.
You'll be part of, wow, what did they say they're gonna be taking? They want both tractors back at their shop and they want to go through on their own. And it's fun. I still got.
Well, there's really no time to take it now, and then they say they fix, well, how do we know? You start into a mowing season again next year and have the same issues come up, well, then we're sitting at the same situation we're at.
It'll be worth more if they go through them now.
Yeah.
We got, comments have been phoning, because a lot of them, Westlock went all orange and they had lots of trouble too. We're not the only one having trouble with the tractors.
So we do the hauling at our cost, right? Back and forth, we take them, or sometimes they come out to service.
Well, our mechanics do some initial troubleshooting on the calls and then dealing with their service writer. But a lot of the times I've been dealing with them because I've been not so nice. I've been aggressive and they've been sending their service trucks out. And what really troubled me big time was they said, well, we can't just drop everything from Lamont County. I said, well, if you supply them with the tractor, it's not my fault. We only have 2 service guys on the road. If you're gonna make this thing happen. But we haven't had to haul it in. Our equipment has not been sent in by our staff. They've been coming out on their dime.
And horsepower is equivalent to the New Holland or John Deere that we get, so it can't be that it's not capable of running a machine.
That I will miss it if council decides to go that way is the fuel economy. When I'm signing off on the fuel, they're roughly about $350 cheaper to run than the Ford.
I'm
But
not running, that's why. Yeah, my old pump truck is really good on fuel, it never goes anywhere.
one thing,
I do have another question here on this roadside, unauthorized roadside mowing. We're not gonna do anything with this, are we? Like, it's a tough year out there, you guys.
we asked them to come in and find out a permit. I am not going to, I'm not gonna push that in because if it means that users need to keep their livestock on the yard and not go to auction, it's easier on us of not mowing it, and the farmers are getting feed.
Just an aside question, but do you know how many bales were made on our interpipeline land?
I do. 18, I think.
Well, and those were free to the owner, right?
Yeah.
Or the person that made the hay. Shouldn't have, well, Terry's looking that up, is
15 bales.
50. That could be. Pets reclamation, is that a public works project, or is that a?
That's right.
Pets pit reclamation,
That's public works.
that's public works, because they are putting in Texas gate there, I think, right? So is there cattle pasturing there?
We shall, we're moving before the end of the month.
Correct. Yeah, Amanda gave Jeremy the contact because I was off. And the individuals had 2 bills in there and yeah, they put next date for the 3 after that, they produce and notification taking marks.
So they're moving stockpile gravel from the AT pit into the pit
Yes.
so that they can mine more in the AT pit. And eventually, once they've accumulated enough, they'll do the crushing in the AT pit. I was there yesterday.
What's in the form? How many bales on southeast 11?
That's exactly what I'm looking at now. We have. I'll find it and.
Yeah.
You have a question? Okay, so then we can carry on to 7.2 assistant report.
Since our last meeting, we've been busy working on surveys. We completed travel surveys for the province. Completed 6 new types of surveys. We'll touch on the inspections we had for the correspondence. We did utilize the Clean Farm pesticide roundup yesterday. In the know, stop is scheduled for November 26th at St. Michael Recreation Center. We don't have a time yet. We're waiting on to do more tax foundations yet. It's going to be some details, but save the date for that. And our flood route inspections are underway. We should be wrapping those up in the next week or so. We're at about 60 fields right now. We have 9 suspected positives, but those will have to be sent in confirm. And in the meantime, those producers did receive letters that they suspect they have flood route, so they should manage their, harvest accordingly. 34 bales.
34 bales, right?
And that's good, because we tried some spray equipment, we trimmed orders, our jobs and put them in, and yeah, we're just busy, like Terry said, working on our in-service training and conference planning for this year.
Any questions?
Yeah, I have one. With the, drying up of dugouts, are we seeing an increased use of water from the St. Michael solution?
Yes. There's
There's more, yeah, there's more people that are coming for short-term keys.
That may also be because of the service fee as well, though, right now, we're doing that service fee, within what the last year we've been doing that, people might be wanting to utilize it more since they're paying for it.
Do we have quite a few spare keys yet, or?
A lot came back once that's.
Yeah, Terry, that water from, that's from the province, right? Is there one dedicated to Lamont County or are we sharing it with?
It's shared through the province. There was a total of 7 scattered throughout the province. Last I heard, there's 2 that are based, like, this area is based out of Arvin. And they had 2 pumps that were there. They had a half-mile pump, and then they also had a 1-mile pump. And depending on how far you gotta go, quite often, sometimes you got 2 pumps if you're hauling 2 miles away, right? So.
And people from the county can call and contact you to get the emissions.
So if you want to promote it to your producers, we don't make the orders. It's through the DOA. Called 310 Farm, that's for the water pumping program, and they will put you in touch with a water specialist. And then the facilitator will reach out to you. And if you're going from dugout to dugout, you're okay. But if you're going from someone else's dugout to yours, you're gonna have to get temporary water connections. For diverted. And that is one of the things that Premier Smith is referring to on the elimination of red tape. Make sure that we don't slow down the producers on some of their programs.
We just put a waiting list. I had a print phone yesterday. I got the number from Terry. He phoned in there, and it'll be mid-November probably before they get anything.
You know, we have a producer that's just up north of Chipman, same thing. Yeah.
Canadian dewatering, they know that same thing as you just mentioned, there's some producers that are, they don't wanna wait and they want their animal to be watered. So they went to Canadian dewatering and same thing, they're 3/4 mile, 1.5 the flexible holes right on the rear, so whatever it costs them, I don't know, but at least they're getting water moved, right? What some of the other municipalities are doing, and then, the board can consider that as well as, canvassing your local MLA. To see if there's any announcement on increasing the water, right? More and more people are looking at making these laterals, drilling wells, hauling water, and I know a few years ago, they had some incentive programs as well to cover some of the costs. This board members, you can maybe reach out to them really.
Any more questions on it? Alrighty, we'll go to Dillis. Dillis, you still there? You ready to go here, your report or?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good, yeah.
Okay, great. I'm having a bit of trouble hearing some of you, just so you know, if you have a question. Okay, well, nice to see you all, except for that, yes, I can't see very well today. But I'll give you a couple of updates for what's happening with the department, these days. You're well aware of the ASB grants that we just completed. They've all been entered. And there also will be a new reporting form coming out this fall. Terry and Amanda might be asked to have a look at it to see how user-friendly it is, to make sure that it's something that they can actually fill out. So just an FYI. Because the grant was reformatted this year, the reporting will be reformatted to match the changes in the new grant. So just so you're aware of that. The regulated weed review, I know you have Amanda here. The minister has signed off on the recommended changes, but currently all the legislative process isn't done. So the list, the way it is right now, is still in place, the original list. I assume that by the time the spring comes, that will be changed, but right now there's still some legislative processes to go through to revise the lists. The mature asset strategy. So we had a really fruitful tour in August. Oh, that was September. Sorry, I'm getting mine mixed up here. No, that was in, sorry guys, I'm thinking back to all the tours I did. That was actually in July 25th. So what the GOA did is, AGI, so ourselves, we created a tour and invited energy and minerals folks to come out, as well as Farmers Advocate office. And we were able to get the chief of staff for energy and minerals to attend the tour, as well as the premier's special advisor who is in charge of the mature asset strategy. So we went down to Red Deer County. We had a lot of help from Red Deer County on that, just finding sites. And so we went to 3 sites in Red Deer County, and we had a lot of discussion there with the landowners. So similar to what we did with Frank Cholak in Lamont last year. But in this case, we did have some of the more decision makers that came to the tour. We also had like an hour and a half to travel with them from Red Deer to Edmonton. So that particular tour has given us a lot of momentum around the mature asset strategy. And we are preparing a cabinet report for this fall that has to do with some of the actions that the Weeds on Well Sites Working Group has put forward as options that could be implemented. So of course, we have to wait and see if they're actually going to accept some of these ideas, but that was a very good tour. It's given us quite a bit of momentum and was allowed us to actually get into the cabinet report for the fall. So that's really good news. We also talked a bit about Frank Cholak's situation, and Terry had sent me the article that was written. So that was really great because the Weeds on Well Sites Working Group now has access and awareness around a real life case for Weeds on Well Sites. So that was another positive for sure. Then we had another tour, and this one was in September. And this was with the Cross Ministry Invasive Species Group. So this is a group like Nicole Kimmel and a lot of folks from the Alberta Invasive Species Council came out, as well as a number, of course, of forestry and parks, environment protected areas. So we had a quite a cross ministry, obviously, group that came to see a bunch of the issues that are popping up for invasive species. And last year we targeted, Lamont area, that Lamont County actually, where we had that tour. And this year we went down south to the Medicine Hat area. Now there's a link there, and that link is actually a resource contact list. So if there are concerns that say around Fisheries Act, it gives you the contact, who to call for that. If it's an issue located on vacant public land, then it gives you the contact for that. So it's a really good resource for all the folks within the GOA or otherwise, arm's length groups that you could contact for questions. I'm sure that Terry is aware, and Amanda, that this exists, but that's a really good resource. So that's what that link is about. That's in that page. Okay, we can go to the next slide. So field visits, you had yours last year, and you won't have another one for 4 years. So that's the good news. But the field visits for 2025, again, there was another 15 this year. The visits are now all complete, and the draft reports are being sent out, as we speak. So that you'll see a little bit about the findings from the field visits at your regional conference coming up here, November 3rd, I believe yours is. ASB regional meetings, again, I just touched on that, and I'm sure Terry brought this up, that it is an election year for the ASB PC. So each region is going to require an elected representative and an alternate. So keep that in mind, because you will be looking for those representatives at the Northeast regional meeting. Again, resolutions, we're kind of past that now, but a minimum of 4 weeks in advance of your regional meeting. I'm sure you're all aware about that. ASB orientation. So because of the elections that are going to be occurring here this month, a number of ASBs have been looking or scheduling orientations following the municipal elections. So that's just something to think about. Your group is pretty solid, but we do offer ASB orientations. There's a bunch of work being done around regulated pests, still in progress. And again, we're developing some slides for that for the regionals. So we'll have more information to share around what might be happening with wild boar, for example. And then emergency preparedness. You may have heard that Brad Andrews has retired, and Catherine Altman will be taking his place as the Director of Emergency Management. So that's something that's new within the department. Other than that, you will get some more advanced updates at the Northeast Regional. And your meeting is November 3rd, correct, Terry?
That Monday, I want to say it's the 2nd.
Oh, okay. Let's have a calendar. Who's got a calendar? November 3rd. Yeah, is that Monday.
Yeah.
I thought I heard you say a different date when you were speaking, so I just wanted to check that. Okay, So that is kind of a wrap for what's happening right now within the department. And again, you'll get some more details. There'll be surveillance details as well coming up at the regional and some of those further details. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions for Phil, for Dillis? Anybody? No? All right, thanks for now. Any more comments you want to make or anything, Dillis?
No, I would recommend that you check out that triage document at some point because there's a lot of good contact names in there. And that is something that the GOA is trying to keep updated with the most recent staff so that if you need to reach out to someone, you know which area to go to.
Thanks for all that information you gave us today and stuff, and good luck healing up. Your
Yeah, it's rather challenging when you have to look at monitors all day, for sure. So I'm hoping it'll get better soon. But thank you for the invitation and allowing me to come and speak.
All right, we're looking forward to talking to you at the next meeting.
Yes.
Any questions, anything from the? All right, with that, can we get a motion, please, that's on our screen?
That the Lamont County Agricultural Service Board accept the agricultural fieldman, assistant agricultural fieldman, and Alberta agricultural liaison reports as information.
Okay, thanks, all in favor? All right, with that, I guess we'll thank the staff for getting the meeting all organized and stuff, and we'll adjourn the meeting at 10:13. Thanks, guys.
Hope to see you guys in county member.
Yeah, see you everyone.
You know, that's November the 3rd.
Yeah.